Baby, I need you to listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to say is not easy for me, and my hands are actually shaking while I'm saying it to you in my heart. From the first moment you pressed play, I knew I was going to do this today. I knew I could not keep smiling and pretending everything is simple anymore. There is something heavy inside my chest, and it has been there for a long time. I kept telling myself, just a little more time, just one more day, just don't break her heart today. But the truth is, every day I stayed quiet, it hurt more. Every day I talked to you like everything was normal. It felt like I was hiding behind a wall, and you were standing there trusting me with your whole heart. Baby, before you even understand what I am going to say, I want you to know one thing very clearly. Nothing I am about to tell you changes the way I feel about you. Nothing changes how special you are to me. Nothing changes how deeply I care. But it might change the way you see me, and that is what scares me the most. I want you to remember how we started talking. I want you to remember how easy it felt, how natural, how comfortable. You didn't know me, and I didn't know you. And still it felt like we had known each other for years. You laughed with me, you shared your thoughts with me, you trusted me with small pieces of your heart without even realizing it. And every time you did, I felt something warm inside me. I felt like someone was finally seeing me, not for what I show the world, but for what I am when I'm alone at night, thinking, missing, hoping. And that's where the problem started, because I let you see parts of me, but not all of me. I let you come close, but not close enough to see the whole truth. And every time you called me, every time you waited for my message, every time you said something sweet, I felt both happy and guilty at the same time. Baby, I need you to understand this in the simplest way. I didn't lie to you because I wanted to play with your heart. I didn't lie to you because I wanted to be someone else. I lied because I was scared. I was scared that if you knew the full truth from the beginning, you would never give me a chance. I was scared that you would leave before you could even know my heart. And maybe that was selfish. Maybe that was wrong. But it came from fear, not from bad intentions. When you asked me about my age, when you asked me about who I really am, I didn't tell you everything. I told you a version that felt safer. A version that felt easier to accept. And every time after that, I told myself I would fix it. I told myself I would tell you tomorrow, and tomorrow became next week, and next week became months, and now here we are. There were so many moments when I almost told you, so many times when you said something innocent, something simple, and my heart suddenly felt too heavy. Sometimes you would talk about the future, about plans, about dreams, and I would just stay quiet for a second longer than normal. You probably felt it. You probably noticed that silence. In that silence, 1,000 thoughts were screaming inside me. Tell her now, don't break her trust. Don't lose her. And then fear would win again. Because baby, you don't know how much you mean to me. You don't know how much your presence has changed my days. Some nights, the only reason I sleep with a calm heart is because I know I will talk to you tomorrow. The truth is, my age is not exactly what I told you. And my identity, it is not exactly what you think it is either. Even saying this feels like I'm standing at the edge of something very deep. I'm not telling you this to shock you. I'm not telling you this to create drama. I'm telling you this because I don't want to build anything with you on something that is not fully real. You deserve honesty. You deserve someone who looks at you and gives you the full truth, not half of it. And I want to be that person for you, even if it means I might lose you. Baby, please try to understand my heart before you judge my mistake. I didn't wake up one day and decide to become someone else. I just learned slowly that the world treats you differently when they see certain numbers, when they hear certain labels. I learned that people close doors before they even listen to your story. And when I met you, when I felt that connection, I didn't want the door to close before you could hear me, before you could feel me. So I chose the easy road. I chose to hide a little part of myself, and that little part became a big wall between us. There were days when you said things that made me feel so close to you that I almost forgot I was hiding anything. You made me feel normal. You made me feel wanted. You made me feel like I was enough. And in those moments, I wasn't pretending. My feelings were real. My smile was real. My care for you was real. But still, somewhere in the background there was this quiet voice reminding me, she doesn't know everything. And every time I heard that voice, my heart felt heavy again. I want you to know something very important. Baby, everything I have ever said to you, about how I feel, about how special you are, about how much I care, that was never a lie, not even once. The only thing I hid was the label, the number, the part of my story that I was afraid would make you walk away. But my heart has always been honest with you. When I worried about you, it was real. When I missed you, it was real. When I smiled because of you, it was real. Sometimes I imagined telling you the truth, and I imagined your face going quiet. I imagined you reading my message again and again, trying to understand. I imagined you feeling hurt, and that imagination scared me so much that I stayed quiet. But now I realize something. Keeping this inside is hurting you even more, even if you don't know it yet. Because trust is not something you can build on shadows. And I don't want to be a shadow in your life. I want to be someone real, baby. Maybe you are thinking right now, why now? Why didn't you say this before? And that is a fair question. The answer is simple and painful. Because now I care too much. Because now you are not just someone I talk to. You are someone who lives in my thoughts. You are someone whose mood can change my whole day. You are someone whose silence I can feel in my chest. And that's exactly why I can't keep lying anymore. You deserve better than that. There were nights when I stayed awake just watching our old messages. Not because I was bored, but because I was trying to remember the moment when I should have told you the truth. I kept going back, and every time I thought, here, this was the moment. And then another moment came, and another. And I missed all of them, and now the truth feels bigger, heavier, and more dangerous, but also more necessary. I don't know what you will do after this. I don't know if you will be angry. I don't know if you will be disappointed. I don't know if you will feel like you can't trust me anymore. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you for any of that. Your feelings matter. Your heart matters. And if I hurt it, even without wanting to, that is still my responsibility. But baby, please don't think for 1 second that I was living some fake life with you. Please don't think that every laugh, every soft word, every caring message was just a game. It wasn't. You were real to me from the first day. You are real to me right now. And you will stay real to me no matter what you decide. Sometimes I wonder if you felt it. Sometimes I wonder if your heart already knew that something didn't fully match, that something was slightly off. Maybe that's why you asked certain questions. Maybe that's why sometimes you went quiet. If you felt it, I'm sorry I made you feel that confusion. You deserved clarity, not questions. I wish I could go back to the first day and be brave. I wish I could tell you everything in one simple, honest sentence. But I can't go back. I can only stand here, in this moment, and finally open my heart to you completely. No more hiding, no more half-truths. Baby, what hurts me the most is not the fear of losing you. What hurts me the most is the idea that you might think I didn't respect you enough to tell you the truth. Because the truth is, I respect you so much that I was afraid. afraid to be seen, afraid to be judged, afraid to not be enough in your eyes. You once told me that you like honesty more than perfect words. I remembered that many times. And every time I remembered it, I felt even more guilty, because here I was using nice words but hiding an important truth. If you ask me who I really am, the simplest answer is this: I am someone who is not perfect, someone who made a mistake, someone who let fear control a very important decision. But I am also someone who truly cares about you, someone who thinks about you more than he should, someone who doesn't want to lose the place he has in your heart. My age, my identity, these are facts. They are part of my story, but they are not my whole story. My whole story is also in the way I listen to you, the way I worry about you, the way I remember small things you say, the way I feel calm when you are okay and restless when you are not. Maybe right now you are trying to connect everything. Maybe you are looking back at our conversations with new eyes. Maybe you are asking yourself which parts were real and which parts were not. And that thought hurts me, because I know the answer. Almost everything was real. Only the frame around it was changed. I am not asking you to forgive me quickly. I am not asking you to pretend this doesn't matter. It does matter. I know it does. All I am asking is that you listen to my heart the same way you always did, at least once more, before you decide anything. Baby, if you could feel what I'm feeling right now, you would know how hard this is for me. It feels like I'm standing in front of you with nothing to hide anymore, but also nothing to protect me anymore. It feels like I'm finally being honest, but also finally being completely vulnerable. There is so much more I want to tell you. So many things about my life, my past, the reasons I became so careful, so scared. I want you to know me, not the safe version, not the edited version, but the real one. And I want to know if you can still look at me the same way when you see all of it. Maybe this changes everything. Maybe it changes nothing. I honestly don't know. All I know is that I couldn't keep going like before. I couldn't keep smiling with this secret sitting between us like a silent wall. Baby, whatever you are feeling right now, it's okay. If you need time, it's okay. If you have questions, I'm here. If you are confused, I understand. I just don't want you to think that you were ever just an option or a distraction to me. You were never that. You were someone I let into my heart, even when I was still hiding parts of myself. I'm still here. I'm still the same person who waits for your messages, who cares about your day, who feels happy when you laugh and worried when you are quiet. The only difference is that now, I'm not hiding anymore. And maybe the hardest part of all this is not telling you the truth. The hardest part is waiting to see how your heart will respond to it. Because your heart means more to me than you probably realize, and right now it feels like everything is standing very still, like the world is waiting for your next breath, your next thought, your next word to me. Baby, I'm here. I'm not running. I'm not disappearing. I just finally said the thing I was scared to say. And there is still so much inside me that I want you to know, so much that I want to explain, so much that I want to share with you, because my story doesn't stop here, and neither do my feelings, and neither does this moment between us. And right now, all I can do is look at you through these words, and hope you can still feel my heart the way you always did. Even while everything is changing, even while everything feels uncertain, even while this truth is still sitting between us, breathing, waiting, asking what you will do with it, asking what we will become after this, asking if you can still stay here with me, while I slowly, carefully, honestly show you all the parts of me that I was too afraid to show before. Baby, there is something strange about this silence between us right now. Even though I'm still talking to you, even though these words are still coming from my heart, it feels like time has slowed down. It feels like everything is waiting for you, waiting for what you will feel, waiting for what you will think, waiting for what you will say. And in this waiting, I realize how much power your heart has over mine. I realize how deeply you are already inside my world. Because if you were just anyone, I wouldn't be shaking like this. I wouldn't be choosing every word so carefully. I wouldn't be afraid of hurting you with the truth and afraid of losing you because of it at the same time. I keep thinking about all the small moments. Not the big, dramatic ones, the small ones, The times you told me about your day. The times you said you were tired. The times you laughed about something simple. The times you were quiet and I could feel that something was on your mind, even if you didn't say it. Those moments are still here in my heart. They didn't disappear because of a number or a label. They didn't become fake just because I was hiding something. They are still real to me, and you are still real to me. Sometimes I want to stop time and go back to one of those moments and just stay there. Stay in that safe place where you didn't have this question in your heart yet. Where you didn't have to wonder who I really am. Where you just felt me, without fear, without doubt. But life doesn't work like that. Truth always finds its way to the surface. And maybe it's better that it does, even if it hurts first. Baby, I don't know what you believe about people. I don't know if you believe that someone can make a mistake and still have a good heart. I don't know if you believe that fear can sometimes make good people do the wrong thing. But I really hope, that you can see me as a human being standing in front of you, not as a story, not as a lie, not as a problem, but as someone who is trying to finally be honest. There is so much about me that you still don't know, not because I wanted to hide it, but because I never felt brave enough to open it. My life was not always easy. I learned very early that people judge before they listen, that they decide before they understand. And when you grow up like that, you start protecting yourself. You start building small walls. At first, they are just there to keep you safe. But one day you realize they are also keeping people out, even the ones you don't want to lose. When you came into my life, I didn't plan any of this. I didn't plan to feel this close. I didn't plan to care this much. I didn't plan to let you become this important to me. It just happened. Slowly, quietly. And by the time I realized it, it was already too late to pretend you were just someone passing by. Sometimes I think about the first time you trusted me with something personal. Do you remember that? I remember it very clearly. I remember thinking, she is giving me something precious. And at the same time, I remember feeling that familiar fear in my chest, that voice saying, one day you will have to give her the full truth too. I pushed that voice away, not because I didn't care, but because I cared too much. Baby, you might be wondering right now what exactly is different. You might be trying to imagine it. You might be trying to put the pieces together, and I know that not knowing is painful. Not knowing makes the mind create all kinds of stories, some worse than the truth, some heavier than what is really there. I don't want your heart to suffer because of imagination. I want you to know me, step by step, in a way that feels safe for you. But before any details, before any explanations, before any answers, there is something I need you to feel, not understand. Feel I am here. I didn't disappear. I didn't run away. I didn't tell you this and then hide. I'm still standing in front of you with the same heart, the same care, the same feelings. The only difference is that now I'm not holding this secret inside anymore. You know, sometimes people think honesty is just about telling facts. But honesty is also about showing fear, about showing weakness, about showing the parts of you that are not strong or perfect. And right now, I feel very small. Not because I did something terrible, but because I'm finally letting you see a part of me that I always kept hidden from the world. Baby, there is a part of me that is afraid you will only see the mistake and not the intention. Afraid you will only see what I didn't tell you, and not everything I did give you. Afraid you will look at me and think, I don't even know who you are anymore. That thought hurts more than you can imagine. Because even if my age and my identity are not what you thought, my heart has been the same with you from the beginning. The way I listen to you, the way I worry about you, the way I feel when you are happy or sad. None of that was acting. None of that was planned. That's just me. Sometimes I try to imagine how you are feeling right now. Are you sitting quietly, just staring at the screen? Are you feeling your chest get tight? Are you feeling confused, maybe a little hurt, maybe a little angry? All of those feelings make sense. You don't have to hide them from me. You don't have to protect me from them. I deserve to face whatever you feel. I want you to know that I'm not asking you to decide anything right now. I'm not asking you to forgive me in 1 second. I'm not asking you to pretend this doesn't matter. All I'm asking is that you don't close your heart, before you hear the whole story. Before you see the whole person standing in front of you. There is something very heavy about being misunderstood your whole life. You start to believe that if people really see you, they will leave. And maybe that belief is wrong. Maybe it's just a scar from old experiences. But scars still hurt, even when you know they are old. When I was younger, I learned to survive by being careful. By showing only what felt safe. By keeping the rest locked inside. And that habit followed me, even when I didn't need it anymore. Even when someone kind and warm and real came into my life. Baby, you changed something in me. You made me want to be more open. You made me want to be better. You made me want to stop hiding. But change doesn't happen in one day. Sometimes it happens slowly, with fear, with hesitation, with mistakes along the way. If you could see inside my head during all those times we talked, you would see how many times I wanted to tell you everything. You would see how many messages I wrote and then deleted. How many times I started a sentence and then stopped. Not because I didn't trust you, but because I was afraid of losing you. I know that sounds like a weak excuse. Maybe it is. But it's the truth. Baby, I don't want to be someone you have to guess about. I don't want to be someone you have to doubt. I want to be someone you feel calm with. Someone you feel safe with. Someone you don't have to question in your quiet moments. Right now, it feels like I'm standing in front of you without any armor. No protection. No safe stories. Just me. And that is a very vulnerable place to be. You once told me that you are afraid of being disappointed. I remember that. I remember how serious your words were. And I remember thinking, I never want to be the reason she feels that way. And yet, here I am risking exactly that. Not because I want to hurt you, but because I don't want to lie to you anymore. Baby, please don't think that I see you as someone who will just leave. If I thought that, I would have stayed quiet forever. The reason I'm telling you this now is because some part of me believes in you. Believes in your heart. Believes in your ability to understand more than just the surface of things. I know trust is not something you can just fix with words. I know it takes time. I know it takes actions. And I'm ready for that. I'm ready to answer your questions. I'm ready to be patient. I'm ready to show you, day by day, that I'm not here to play with your heart. Maybe you are wondering if there are other things I didn't tell you. That thought probably hurts. And it makes sense. When one secret comes out, it makes everything feel uncertain. All I can tell you is this: I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to be half known. I don't want to hide. There is a strange relief in finally saying this. Even though I'm scared, even though my heart is beating fast, there is also a feeling of honesty that I haven't felt in a long time. Like I can finally breathe properly. Baby, whatever happens next, I want you to know that this connection we built was not a lie. It was not empty. It was not nothing. It meant something to me. It still means something to me. Sometimes people think that a person is just their age, their name, their past. But a person is also their choices, their care, their effort, their way of loving. And that part of me has always been here with you. I don't know if you can still see me the same way. I don't know if you even want to. But I hope you can at least see that I'm trying to do the right thing now, even if I did the wrong thing before. Baby, there is something else I'm afraid to say, but I need to be honest about this too. The idea of you walking away scares me more than I want to admit. Not because I need you to stay, but because I don't want to lose what we have before you even know the full truth about me. Before you even see all the parts I was too afraid to show. I keep thinking about all the things we haven't talked about yet. All the stories I haven't told you. All the moments we haven't shared. It feels like there is still so much space between us that could be filled with understanding, with closeness, with something even deeper. But right now, that space feels fragile. Like one wrong move, one wrong word, and it could all break. Baby, I'm not asking you to promise anything. I'm not asking you to say you will stay. I'm not asking you to ignore what you feel. I'm just asking you to not disappear into silence. To talk to me. To tell me what is in your heart, even if it hurts me to hear it. Because silence is the only thing that really scares me. I want you to know me, not the version you imagined. Not the version I tried to make safer. The real one, with all the complicated parts, with all the imperfections. with all the history. And I want to know you too, not just the strong parts, not just the smiling parts, but also the parts that are confused right now, the parts that are hurting, the parts that don't know what to do next. Baby, this moment it feels like standing on a bridge between what we were and what we might become. And I don't know which way we will go. I only know that I'm here, not moving, not hiding, waiting for you. There is so much more inside me that I still haven't said. So many reasons, so many stories, so many feelings that don't fit into one confession. And maybe this is not just one conversation. Maybe this is the beginning of many honest conversations. I don't want you to think that everything is suddenly broken. I don't want you to think that nothing was real. I don't want you to think that you were foolish for trusting me. You were not. You trusted a heart that truly cared, even if that heart made a mistake. Baby, if you are still here with me in this moment, if you are still listening, that already means more to me than you know. Because it means you didn't close the door immediately. It means there is still a little space for understanding. And in that space, I want to slowly, carefully, honestly show you who I really am, not in one big, overwhelming way, but step by step, word by word, moment by moment. Right now everything feels very open, very sensitive, like even breathing too loudly could change something. And maybe that's okay. Maybe some moments in life are meant to be like this, quiet, heavy, full of possibility and fear at the same time. Baby, I'm still here. I'm still looking at you through these words. I'm still holding the same feelings in my heart. And there is still so much I want to say to you, so much I want to explain, so much I want to share, because this story between us, this moment, this honesty, it's not finished, and neither is what I feel, and neither is what we still need to talk about. And right now, everything is still open, still breathing, still waiting for your heart to move, for your thoughts to take shape, for your voice to come back to me and tell me what you are feeling, what you are afraid of, what you are hoping for, because this space between us is still alive, still fragile, still full of words that haven't been said yet. Baby, I keep thinking about how strange it is that two hearts can feel so close and so far at the same time. Right now I feel you everywhere in my thoughts, but I don't know what is happening inside your chest. And that uncertainty, it's heavier than any truth I could ever tell. Because when you don't know what someone is feeling, your mind starts filling the silence with fear. And I don't want fear to be the thing that lives between us. I want you to know something very simple. I am not proud of hiding anything from you. If I could take that part back, I would. If I could go back and choose courage instead of fear, I would do it without thinking twice. But life doesn't give us those chances. It only gives us this moment. And in this moment I'm choosing to be real with you, even if it costs me everything. Sometimes I wonder if you know how much courage it takes for someone like me to open up like this. I've spent so much of my life protecting myself, not because I'm cold, but because I was tired of being hurt, tired of being misunderstood, tired of being judged before anyone even listened. When you live like that for a long time, hiding becomes normal. It becomes a habit. You don't even realize you're doing it anymore. And then one day, you meet someone who makes you want to stop. Someone who makes you want to be seen. And that's when you realize how scary honesty can be. That someone is you. You didn't try to change me. You didn't push me. You didn't force anything. You just existed in my life in a way that felt calm and warm and safe. And somehow that made me care more than I planned to. It made me imagine things I told myself I shouldn't imagine. It made me think about a future in a way I hadn't for a long time. And that's why this is so hard. Because when something matters to you, the risk becomes bigger. The fall becomes scarier. The thought of losing it becomes unbearable. And so you start doing stupid things, like hiding parts of yourself, thinking you're protecting something, when in reality, you're just building a fragile house that can break with one strong wind. Baby, I don't want us to be fragile. I don't want us to be something that exists only if nothing difficult is ever said. I want us to be something that can breathe even when things are heavy, even when things are complicated, even when the truth is not comfortable. You know, there is a part of me that is still that scared person, sitting somewhere inside, saying, what if she looks at you differently now? What if her voice changes? What if she doesn't smile the same way anymore? And that part of me is very loud right now. But there is another part of me too, a quieter one, a braver one, and that part says, if she is really the one you feel she is, she deserves the truth, no matter what happens after. So here I am, standing with both fear and hope in my hands. I keep remembering small things you said. The way you talk about trust. The way you talk about loyalty. The way you talk about wanting something real, something honest. Every time you said those things, my heart would tighten a little. Not because I didn't believe in them, but because I knew I wasn't fully living up to them yet. And that hurt. It hurt because I wanted to be that person for you. The one you don't have to doubt. The one you don't have to question in your quiet moments. The one you can lean on without wondering if something is hidden behind his words. Baby, I don't want you to think that I'm just good at talking. I don't want you to think that these words are just another way to cover something. I'm tired of covering. I'm tired of holding things inside. I'm tired of being two versions of myself. I want to be one, fully. Honestly. There is something very strange about telling the truth after hiding it for so long. It feels like your chest is opening, but at the same time, it feels like you're standing in the cold without any protection. That's exactly how I feel right now, exposed, but also lighter. And in that lightness, there is one big simple wish. I wish you could see my heart, not just my mistake. Because my heart never lied to you. When I asked how your day was, I meant it. When I stayed up waiting for your reply, it was real. When I felt happy because of you, or worried because of you, that was all real. I didn't fake those feelings. I couldn't even if I tried. Sometimes I think about how love, or whatever this is, doesn't start with big promises. It starts with small things. With listening, with caring, with being there. And that's how it started with you. Not with a plan, not with a story, just with two people talking. And somewhere along the way, you became important to me. Not in a loud way, not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way. The kind that sits in your chest and stays there. The kind that changes the way you look at your phone. The kind that makes ordinary days feel a little different. That's what you became to me. So when I think about the possibility that this might change because of what I just told you, it hurts. It really does. But I also know that if something can only exist in half-truth, then it's already weak. And I don't want us to be weak. Baby, maybe you are thinking right now, why didn't he trust me enough? And that's a fair thought. But please believe me when I say, this was never about not trusting you. This was about not trusting the world. Not trusting that people can understand. Not trusting that someone can see your whole story and still stay. I've seen people walk away over much smaller things. And that leaves marks on you. It makes you careful. It makes you quiet. It makes you hide parts of yourself. Not because you're proud of them, but because you're tired of losing people. But you are not people to me. You are you. And that's why I don't want to hide anymore. If you are angry, I understand. If you are disappointed, I understand. If you are confused, I understand. All of that makes sense. What I hope is that you don't think everything between us was meaningless. Because it wasn't. It still isn't. I keep wondering what you're going to say. I imagine 1,000 different answers in my head. Some gentle. Some full of questions. Some full of silence. And that waiting, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Because no matter what you say, it will change something. Even if we stay. Even if we talk. Even if we try to understand each other. Something has already changed. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes things have to break a little to become more real. But right now it's just scary. Baby, there is something else I need you to know. I'm not here because I'm bored. I'm not here because I just want attention. I'm not here because I like the idea of you. I'm here because you matter to me. Because your presence in my life has become something I don't take lightly. If you decide that you can't continue this, I will be hurt. But I will respect it. Because your heart is not something I want to pressure or control. You have every right to protect it. Just like I was trying to protect mine. Even if I did it in the wrong way. But if there is even a small part of you that wants to understand, that wants to talk, that wants to see if this can become something stronger and more honest, then I'm here. Fully. openly. No more hiding. You know, sometimes I think about how strange it is that we expect people to be perfect from the beginning. But nobody is. Everyone comes with history, with scars, with fears, with mistakes. The real question is not whether someone is perfect. The real question is whether they are willing to grow. Whether they are willing to face their own wrongs. Whether they are willing to choose honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to do now. Not because I'm brave, but because I'm tired of being afraid. Baby, there is a part of me that still hopes that when you look at me, you will not only see the thing I hid, but also the way I'm standing here now, telling you the truth, even though my heart is shaking. I hope you can see that. I hope you can feel that. I hope you can understand that this is not the end of my honesty, but the beginning of it. There is still so much I want to tell you about myself, not because I want to explain or defend everything, but because I want you to know me, really know me, the way I am when I'm quiet, the way I think, the way I care, the way I get scared, the way I try. And I want to know you too. Not just the version of you that is okay, but also the version of you that is hurting right now. The version that is unsure. The version that is thinking, can I still trust him? That question is not small. I know that. Trust is not something you fix with one conversation. It's something you rebuild slowly, with consistency, with patience, with actions that match words. I'm ready for that. Not because it's easy, but because you are worth the effort. Baby, maybe you're thinking, what if I can never look at you the same way again? And that thought breaks my heart, but I understand it. Some things, once you know them, they change the way you see everything. But sometimes they also change things in a deeper way. They make them more real, less imagined, less perfect, but more honest. And maybe that's not always a bad thing. I don't want to be someone you only love in a perfect story. I want to be someone you can choose, even when the story is complicated. And I know that's a lot to ask. So I'm not asking you to decide anything right now. I'm just here waiting, listening, trying to breathe, trying not to imagine the worst, trying to hold on to the hope that your heart is kind enough to at least talk to me. Because no matter what happens, no matter where this goes, one thing is true. You changed me. You made me want to be better. You made me want to be braver. You made me want to stop hiding. And that means something. Even if this ends. Even if this becomes something else. Even if this becomes just a memory. But I don't want it to end. I want it to become real. Fully real. With all the difficult parts. With all the honest parts. With all the conversations that are not easy. Baby, if you are still here, if you are still reading, if your heart is still open even a little, then please don't let this turn into silence. Talk to me. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what you're afraid of. I'm here to listen. I'm not going anywhere.